Chapter 3: Managing and Caring for the Self. Lesson 1: Learning to be a better learner.
Knowing the self is not enough because who you are is partly made up of your choices. You must also have the ability to choose, especially a better you. In the school setting, the knowledge of yourself should at least enable you to become a better student.
This lesson will present several techniques that you can adopt depending on your situation and preferences in order to make you a better learner. Learning should not just mean studying for your quizzes and exams in school. Learning could also occur outside the confines of a book or a classroom. Like when you want to acquire a new move in your favorite sport or the skills for a certain hobby among others. Furthermore, the techniques here are not only techniques available on months or years from now. New ways on how to study better will be discovered or rediscovered. What is important at this moment is that you learn how to learn these things. We are Homo sapiens, or the wise man. We think in a more complex level than our ancestors and most, if not all, of the other beings. Not only do we think, we are also capable to think about thinking, like how we think of things and why we think in a certain way about things. It is like your brain thinks about yourself, then thinks about how it thinks about itself. In the context of learning, studies show that when you are able to think about how you think, how you process information, and how you utilize techniques while you are studying, you have a higher chance of improving your learning process than those who do not reflect on their methods.
Metacognition is commonly defined as thinking about thinking.
Due to this awareness, metacognition enables the person to adapt their existing knowledge and skills in order to approach a learning task, seeking for the optimum result for the learning experience.
Cognition is also not limited to the thinking process of the individual. It also includes keeping one's emotions and motivations while learning in check. Some people learn better when they like the subject, some when they are challenged with the topic, while others if they have a reward system each time they finish a task. The emotional state and the motivation of a person then should also be in the prepared ideal state for that person to learn more effectively. As seen from the above-mentioned definitions, metacognition has two aspects. 1. Self-appraisal, and 2. Self-management of cognition. Self-appraisal is your personal reflection on your knowledge and capabilities, while self-management is the mental processes that you employ using what you have in planning and adapting to successfully learn or accomplish a certain task. Similar concepts usually called elements of metacognition are metacognitive knowledge, or what you know about how you think, and metacognition regulation, or how you adjust your thinking processes to help you learn better. Under metacognitive knowledge are several variables that affect how you know or assess yourself as a thinker. First is the personal variable. That is your evaluation of your strengths and weaknesses in learning. Second is the task variable. That is what you know or what you think about the nature of the task as well as what strategies the task requires. Lastly, the strategy variable. That refers to what strategies or skills you already have in dealing with certain tasks. However, it must be noted that in order to make a self-appraisal and self-management work, you must have an accurate self-assessment. You must be honest about what you know and are capable of, in order to find ways to utilize your strengths and improve on your weaknesses. Here are other skills that help you exercising with metacognition.
Knowing your limits. As mentioned earlier, one cannot really make any significant advancement in using metacognitive skills without having an honest and accurate evaluation of what you know and what you do not know. Knowing your limits also looks at the scope and limitations of your resources so that you can work with what you have at that moment and look for ways to cope with other necessities. Number 2. Modifying your approach. It begins with the recognition that your strategy is not appropriate to the task, or that you are not comprehending the learning experience successfully. Recognizing, for example, that you are not understanding what you are reading, then you should also learn to modify your strategy in comprehending your material. You might want to read and reread a page for 5 minutes intervals instead of trying to finish the material in one setting. You might want to make a summary of or code for yourself instead of using keywords or highlighting sections of what you are reading. Number 3. Skimming. This is basically browsing over a material and keeping an eye on keywords, phrases, or sentences. It is also knowing where to search for such key terms. For example, you might want to look at the introduction first of the abstract. The table of contents can also provide you with a quick guide to the contents of the book. Introductory paragraphs, headings or subheadings, and conclusions can also provide you with an overview of the whole material. This technique works best when you want to get an idea about the contents of a reading material, when you are trying to read through several materials in a limited time frame, or when you want to focus on the certain details among others. Rehearsing. This is not just repeatedly talking, writing, and or doing what you have learned, but also trying to make a personal interpretation or summary of the learning experience. One of the fun ways to do this is by imagining yourself being interviewed about your task, and as you will try to convey what you have learned from the resources, you will also insert your opinions or other personal take on the matter. Just be sure that the key concepts are well understood and are still in line with the source material, even multiple rehearsals. Self-test. As the name implies, this is trying to test your comprehension of your learning experience or the skills that you have acquired during learning. While some materials already come with a test like this book, you can still create tests for it.
Hi guys, I'm John Rabanes and I'm from section 1-7. Today's video I'm going to explain what is metacognitive and also why it's very important, especially on how to improve our study habits. I'm going to share some benefits of it, and also I'm going to share some of tips about it. So let's start. So we need to talk about what is metacognitive learners. Metacognitive learners are the individuals who take an active role in their learning by thinking reflectively and also strategically about their abilities and approaches to learning. They monitor and adjust their learning strategies to ensure they are maximizing their learning potential. And also, according to Perkins 1992 in Cambridge International Examination 2015, that you need to identify at least 4 types of metacognitive learners. The first one is called tacit learners. Tacit learners is the one who are unaware of their metacognitive processes. The second is called aware learners. Aware learners are the one who is always aware of the metacognitive strategies, but their techniques are not always planned. The third is called strategic learners, the one who always strategize their plan and also their course and by their actions to improve their learning methods. And lastly, it's called reflective learners. Reflective learners has ability to think and thinking about their strategies, and also they can easily adapt their metacognitive skills. And also, metacognitive is for the students who likes to do a self-regulated learners, and the benefits of using the metacognitive techniques and the strategies is compensation and develop their cognitive limitation, also help the students to be aware of his or her by capabilities. And also that there are some tips I'm going to explain you can improve on studying about the following. 1. Make an outline of the things that you want to learn, and also you can easily memorize it. 2 is break down the smaller tasks or organize. Also, you need to manage your task by step. And the number 3, also you need to integrate the variation in your schedule and also learning experiences. The tips number 4, also try to incorporate your ideas to let the ideas flow. And the 5 tips is taking down notes, summarizing, and also revising some notes. These tips will help you to minimize your cramming. So thank you for listening, guys. That's all. God bless and take care always. Bye.